Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are on Tuesday, February 27th. We're going to take a look at Splunk today. So here is the incredibly ugly, especially as of recent, chart of Splunk. Ugly, not meaning it's in a bad way, but there's just this really bizarre sort of, incredibly gappy price action. And then, this sort of like just teeny tiny candles. It's like huge bump in volume and then like real die off in volume and then another bump up in volume. That's very sporadic and brief, and then another die down with these teeny tiny candles. So we'll see. It was a little weird pulling this up. I don't look at Splunk a lot, but somebody asked me to, so I'm happy to do so. Now, if Splunk with earnings coming up goes to the upside, 161.12 looks like a potential resistance level to me, as does 168.69. If it stays relatively sideways, it could be around, the level where it is right now, down to 150.79 or up to that 161. So those wouldn't be huge percentage gains or losses with a stock of this price. If it does have a bigger sort of rug pull, if you will, 134.58, 125.01 look like potential support levels to me. So that was all the levels I pulled in, but you can see some of the ranges that it's been through in the past. And again, some of these, this was an earnings reaction. It looks like minus 23%. It's obviously had some that have bumped up to the upside, and so it has had some big reactions to earnings in the past. So we'll see, how that all pans out. It looks like this was also an earnings reaction. I can't tell if it was the 12% day. Yeah, maybe plus 12%, and then it just sort of continued to move up. But again, it's left all of these gaps. I didn't mark them because there's so many of them, it would have just cluttered up the chart immediately. Now, on the think or swim side of things, this is pretty interesting. Now, it's not triggering on the TTM squeeze indicator at the moment, but it had triggered and fired and nothing had happened. And even before that, it triggered and fired, re-triggered, refired, nothing happened. So I don't really know what to make of that. Some of these stocks don't, say obey the rules of the TTM squeeze indicator as well, or the indicator doesn't work as well on some stocks seemingly. But of note, this channel was like relative to now at least was pretty wide previously. And so this channel has really consolidated, really narrowed. There's not a ton of space to move. If it goes to the upper bound of the channel, it's about 155. It's out of it right now, and then it comes down to just under 154. 153.78. Mid-range 154.62. So really compressed channel at the moment. So I'm interested to see if there could be a big move afoot that's just sort of like been gaining steam, even though again it's not triggering on the TTM squeeze indicator. Could the channel, the look of the channel itself and the narrowing of the channel itself be an indication of a big move to come? Potentially. Now, which way that goes, I don't know. Obviously, it's had a pretty big run-up in recent weeks and months. And so, this is from about August. And so the run-up since then has been pretty sustained and impressive. That brought it from about 100 or so up to like 155 now. So interested to see, is there sort of like really good reason for that? Will earnings just sort of like, be another tailwind and say, yeah, look, you guys have been pushing the price up for good reason, and here's, another rocket booster on your ship? Or are folks going to feel like, maybe even decent or on par news with the earnings, that a bunch of it's going to be priced in, and maybe there's a surprise reaction? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, weird chart. Back here, definitely much more normal looking. I mean, you even see the volume, like much more sustained and normal, versus current day, just really low volume. And then these random, big pickups, or I don't know if they're random. I'm sure there was some catalyst or something, but 26 million volume all of a sudden. And back here, we're looking at 692 6,000 in volume. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, but certainly does mean that while it has these really low volume periods when the volume does pick up, and potentially or probably there's some catalyst that's driving all this additional volume, that it can move quite significantly. All right, folks, I hope that your trading week is off to a good start. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.